Good evening. Today is Saturday the 28th or 29th, and I'm located at the State Library, the Library of Virginia. And I am here for We the People, an organization that I formed so that we can have true and honest government. There are a lot of critical issues that are happening right in the city of Richmond and by the corrupt local government and federal government. As you know it, Chris Dorsey, who is a native of Richmond, Virginia, is running for the seat for sheriff of the city of Richmond. A lot of evil and bad things have been happening to Chris. He has been beaten. He has been harassed. He went to a meeting where Woody and his clan were, and you can see the videos on my Facebook page, on YouTube, how some of the goons that work for the sheriff have intimidated him, shoved him around, and this week the Secret Service and the FBI was sent to his house. They are so desperate to keep this young man from running for sheriff for the city of Richmond that these low-lives will do just about anything to keep this guy from running. They're trying to get him illegally arrested, illegally removed, to get him, I want to say they want to keep him from being the sheriff of the city of Richmond. So they would like to make it look like he is criminally insane. He has a permit for a gun. If my behind had been beaten and roughed up as much as that little man has, I would get a gun and permit and carry my gun too. So I want to say this. Number one, I've had some pictures on Facebook and on YouTube and on other websites of Levante Lewis. That was an 18-year-old man that was brutally beaten at the jail several times. He was beaten in his head, he was beaten in his ears, he was beaten in his eyes, and you saw the cruel pictures. All of that was done down at the city jail by the goons that work for C.T. Woody. As a result of the brutal beatings, he was never taken for any medical care. Now, this young man is being threatened. The city wouldn't help him. He couldn't get any help from the federal government. He couldn't get any help from the courts. Now, my thing is this. Someone forced Facebook to pull his pictures down, YouTube to pull his pictures down. Now, one of the news reporters for Channel 6 News, Mark Holmberg, did the interview with this young man, and it was all on the Associated Press. It was all in the newspaper about how he allegedly was beaten. But the truth is, he was beaten. This kid was an honor roll student. This kid graduated from Franklin Military School, top honors. This kid had a job. It was either with FedEx, I think it was with FedEx, one of the carrier companies. As a result of the brutal beatings, he no longer is employed. Has been made a felon. He's been made a felon, and his future looks bleak. He has severe headaches as a result of the brutal beatings. He has vision problems. He has memories, lapse of memories, and sometimes he just falls unconscious, all because of these brutal beatings. And Woody and his crew have taken this information offline, but you cannot stop us, Woody. You have done anything you could to become the sheriff of this city again. But I say this, you are going to jail. What you have done, the cruel and unusual ways that you have killed hundreds of people down at that jail by not giving them medication, You have the medical examiner working with you, talking about these people have died from natural deaths. You know there needs to be a federal investigation to all the deaths at the jail, all of the brutal beatings at the jail, all of the rapes at the jail, all of your deputies that have been bringing illegal drugs into the jail, feeding the inmates. You are a cold-blooded criminal, and you will pay. I don't care what you and Dwight Jones do. The picture with the 9 goons standing up there supporting you, each of them will go down. For you, Reva Trammell, I say this: you have been dirty. I fought for you. I spoke up for you at City Council, and then you're going to make this statement that I was on mental medication and that I snapped the night of the City Council meeting. You're a liar. The truth is not in you at all. You are just a piece of scum like the rest of the people. I believed in you wholeheartedly, but you have shown me that you're just a piece of crap like the rest of them, and your time is going to come too. That's why they fought so hard to get you out of office along with Marty Jewell. But I spoke up and told the world how I felt about you, how they disrespected you, how Don Page talked to you like a darn dog. I didn't like that. I didn't think you deserved that treatment. But now that when I think back, she is a piece of crap, and so are you. Even though you spoke up for me lightly, talking about getting me back into the council where I was illegally removed, your day will come. Now I want to say this. Rick Savage. Rick Savage helped you monsters get into office. He ran your campaigns. Woody, Dwight Jones, 90% of you clowns, J.J. Minor, Roderick Bullock, you used that white boy. You used him. You took millions of dollars. He had all of these grants for the black schools. He put in millions of dollars for the poor children. But you all were so nasty, you would not allow him to run for, I think it was lieutenant governor. You didn't support him with that. You didn't support him when he wanted to run for the school board. You all are monsters. Rick had a good heart, but where Rick messed up, he got involved with you losers in the Richmond Democratic Committee, and that's why he is dead. When he saw the points that I brought to him about how evil you all were, he wanted to back out. He wanted to change his mind, and he had the right to change his mind. Now the newspapers say this man has committed suicide and left his 2 beautiful daughters alone in the world. You guys aren't going to take care of his children. He committed suicide because he was embarrassed. He was disgraced. He realized that he helped you scumbags get into office, and now no one can control you. Did Rick Savage commit suicide, or was he killed? Those are the questions that I am asking right now. Now, I attempted to put this on Facebook. Some scumbag deleted it, but I'm saying this now. I'm putting this in video. I want the world to know that there have been 2 men over the last 3 years, politicians big time, that I knew personally, and they took their own lives. Once they realized what you all had done to me, what you all had done to others, they no longer wanted to live. But instead of committing suicide, they should have been here to help the poor people fight you bastards off. Your day is going to come. The dirty ex-police chief, your day is going to come. Dwight Jones, your day is going to come. Reva Trammell, your day is going to come. Parker, your day is going to come. And like I said before, The last time I spoke in City Council, you illegally removed me. City Council has now taken off the airing of the City Council meetings on public TV. It only comes on one time live. So that means the poor people in the city that do all of the work, that pay all of the taxes, because the rich people have loopholes. You all have destroyed so many good people in this city, and it's got to come back, and I pray that I be alive to see it. Another thing, I was sent a letter this week, last week, asking me to come down to the Cap-Up building down on 17th Street. It used to be called RCAP. Well, I want you to know this. Many years, over 15 years, I sat on the advisory board, the executive advisory board with RCAP. That is where the majority of the corruption happened. Now the Richmond Democratic Committee is being run by children. J.J. Minor, a child, I watch him grow up. Corrupt Roderick Bullock, a child, I watch him grow up. How in the hell did these corrupt children get so much power, and they are actually dragging adults by the nose and giving them orders and telling them what to do? I had a friend at the city council, at the RCAP, Rosaline Bullock. She and I became very close because Rosaline is smart. That's Roderick's mother. We were working together to stop the major corruption in RCAP. There are billions and billions of dollars that were given to RCAP by places like Capital One. All of these foundations gave millions of dollars to the Central Virginia Food Bank. But through Dirty Dolores McQuinn, who is J.J. Minor's stepmother, Roderick Bullock, who is Rosaline Bullock's son, billions of dollars have been stolen from the Central Virginia Food Bank. RCAP has been run and manipulated for almost 20 years by corrupt Jackie Bolin, who was Bob Wynn's secretary, who has been voting illegally using the pastor's name that Rosaline Bullock told me. She had not been voting from home. She had been going to this so-called pastor's house and voting for over 20 years. She has been allowed to commit voter fraud that long. Dirty Judge Willard Douglas Jr., a piece of shit that have been working at RCAP over 20 years. When his time was up, the bylaws that I would show you copies of stated that after he served on the board as an officer, after 10 years, he was supposed to have come out of RCAP as an officer and just be a regular member of the advisory council. Dolores McQuinn with her dirty self and Joseph Brooks made it possible to override the bylaws and illegally elect this sucker back in. He came in with Antoinette Williams, I think that is her last name, and he was in charge. Willard Douglas has stolen billions of dollars from RCAP. I have articles to show you how the Eggleston family fortune, how he and the lawyer David Prince drew up a false will, and they were going to rob the Eggleston family of their inheritance. The FBI is into all of that. Willard Douglas have been stealing billions of dollars of the money for food for the poor people and going on goodwill trips all around the world, taking his wife to Africa and all over the world. I guess that's why she has amnesia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, whatever it is. I hope she never gets her mind back. You all have lived a life. Tom Wagstaff, the accountant and bookkeeper, you said that if I ever told it, you could push one button and make everything disappear. You have been one of the major culprits in RCAP and stealing all of these billions of funds. It is incredible how Tom Wagstaff and the rest of the crew have gotten away with stealing all of these billions of dollars. I have documentation showing how Willard Douglas was illegally put back in office over there, how he's been running everything. And the sucker Roderick Bullock came up to me and said, well, we've changed the bylaws. You don't change the bylaws like that. He was illegally put back in office before you guys changed the bylaws. And I have all of the evidence that will convict you all. Dolores McQuinn, you suck. Your son sucks. Your stepson sucks. Roderick Bullock, you suck. Your mother knows that I'm telling the truth. She and I made a good team. When you, Dolores McQuinn, found out that Rosaline Bullock and I were going to city council to object Willard Douglas being placed back in the office, you called the police on me. When Rosaline Bullock and I got to city council, there were police officers to keep us from coming inside of the city council because you knew we were telling the truth. We had the bylaws. You and dead-ass Joseph Brooks illegally put Willard Douglas and Antoinette Smith back into city council. And all of you all are guilty of fraud, money laundering, and a host of other things. But when I think about how many millions of people have gone hungry because you all have stolen this money, it is a shame before God. Now you send me a letter telling me that you want me to come down to so-called RCAP or cap up. You miss me. You want my input. No, you wanted me to come down there so you could make my little ass disappear, but I'm no fool. I was not allowed to put this on Facebook because you're probably paying somebody off. But trust me, your day will come. There are enough people that know what's going on. Tom Wagstaff, you can push all the buttons you want, but I have all the documentation, and you might be great at money laundering and theft. You put Bernie Maynard to shame. That's how well you've been covering your tracks, living large and in charge. Yes, I was the one that had the new store, the new RCAP in the Venerable Feed and Seed building, along with building code inspector. What is the man's name that retired? He and I wrote up an inspectionary report, and he closed down that center because you all had stolen all of that money that had been given to you to open that building, to properly refurbish that building. Diet Ellis. I have all of the paperwork where the building was closed down. I walked through that building with Bob Wynn, and he wanted, come on, Teddy, and he walked me through that building, and I was so hurt when I saw the condition of the building, fiberglass hanging from the ceiling. The bathrooms weren't fixed properly. The fire suppression system over the stove, none of that was correct. But you all thought you were going to get away with that. But I say this, you're going to go to hell. I'm going to send you to jail. You can't worm out of this one. And I say this for anyone that wants to find out who Gloria Lewis Clark was, the beautiful brown-eyed Native American girl that Dwight Jones got pregnant when she was in high school. Look it up on the internet. She's in Marietta, Georgia. Dwight, is it true that you gave her $35,000 after all this time, promising her that you were going to leave your wife, promising her you were going to marry her? You allowed her to work in your senior center for almost 20 years. And you've been with men, you've been with other women, and you destroyed that girl's life. The only thing she has to show for it is her son. And I hope she is happy, and she's married now, and I wish her the best of luck. But child molestation was a crime then. Taking advantage of a minor was a crime then, but you will not get away with the things that you've done. People have enough sense. You can go to YouTube, Yahoo, Google, Bing. You all look this information up for yourself, for the pimp, the preacher, pimping from the pulpit, your son. How many times has he been to jail for drugs? You know, it's sad. And you call your man a God. I call you the son of perdition. You are Satan's son, and you will pay for what you have done to the poor.
Yeah, it's going to be.
So, my thing is this. I'm wrapping this up, but this will hit the papers. I don't care. It will hit the computers, it will hit the television stations, and I'm letting you know that you are a real piece of work. You're just like Pastor G. He got caught, you going to eventually get caught. That's all I have to say. Thank you. This has been Teddy Parham for We the People, and we're not stopping. We're not going to give up. Chris Dorsey, I say to you, congratulations in advance on getting your seat that you deserve as sheriff. I say this to the FBI and the Secret Service. If you want to investigate somebody, go investigate Dwight Jones. Go investigate Joe Morrissey. Go investigate Woody. They set that boy up so that he would not make it for the position as sheriff for the city of Richmond. If you let these lowlives get away with it, then you all need to be exposed. Case closed.